Buchanan was our guest last week, and we are getting to use this music every week now.
Awesome.
Hey, good morning, Facebook. Daryl Buchanan was our guest last week, and now we get to have We Have Jesus, his great new song, We Have Jesus by Daryl Buchanan. The song features Will Cole, Tish Pittman, Janet Pittman, and it's available on darylbuchanan.net, but it's also available, I think, on iTunes, and he was our guest last week and is letting us use that song now for our intro and outro every week. I think outro is the funniest word, but I got that from TJ21. So welcome to Life Inspired, and welcome to Marla Godette.
Yes, thank you.
We're so excited to have you on the red couch.
Thank you. I'm excited to be on the red couch.
The red couch. So anyway, for our guests that haven't ever tuned in before, I always like to do a little introduction of what Life Inspired is. We have a guest every single week that's talking about how God inspires them. And typically life was going along and there was some ... and then God stepped in moment in your life that he turned you to a new direction. Some people want to share about, when they turned from not knowing God to knowing God. But there's so many turning points in every life.
Right.
And so sometimes it's not that turning point. It's a different turning point, like you were already walking with God, but he turned you to a new career or who knows what. So
Right.
I don't know what story you're going to tell, but we would first like a little backstory to the turning point that you want to share. And I don't know which turning point. So tell us a little background. Who is Marla Godette? And where'd you come from? And
Just Marla. That's my new new tagline.
I'm just Marla.
Just Marla. It's so many components that God has to Just Marla. But as I was praying about this, I was thinking about being a preacher's kid.
Oh, I don't think I knew you were a preacher's kid.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was thinking about, I was with a group of women last week and they're saying, you better write this book. And how my brother told me 10 years ago, you better write this book.
Great.
And I said, I don't have time to write a book. I got to write a dissertation. And he said, you better get it out some kind of way. People need to know that there's struggle in being a preacher's kid and different things that come out of that. And I'm like, oh, if I start telling stories, it's going to be backlash. It's going to be this. And they're like, God's got you. Even if it is, so what? If you're helping others, then that's what you need to do. And so I have this book in mind called Who's My Pastor? And I said, well, maybe it should be just a talk, like Who's My Pastor? I don't have to do a book. Maybe I can do a vlog or something. I don't know. But to get the word out. So yes, my mother became a Christian when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
And so we just started church. And I grew up in what would be known as a non-denominational church, but it was very Pentecostal, just
raising
a lot of
hands
strict
and praising Jesus
and the best praise services ever. And
but
old
rules.
school, it was very religious.
Okay.
And so when you don't know, you just want to be saved. You just want to know, like, God, I thank you. You took me out of the Murray clay and I'm ready to be clean, and whatever these people say do, I'm going to do it. So that's how it was, Okay. Don't wear pants, don't wear makeup, don't wear jewelry, earrings. Like, you could wear all this other stuff, but not earrings, okay? Don't cut your hair. I'm sitting here with a bald head, right? Women don't cut your hair. Make sure your skirt is long. Pull up your cleavage. Do this, do that. Everything was Don't go to the bowling alley. Don't go to the movie theater. Don't go to a dance. Don't go to It was so much. It's like everything you do then had to be in the church, which I get it, Diane. They were trying to keep us out of trouble. Mm-hmm. And if that's the only way they knew how to do it, that's what they were doing. I think some of it, as I got older and listened to messages, was like, that's not in the Bible. So when you start questioning things and people can't really answer you, they just say, shut up and do it. God didn't create me that way, so I was getting very rebellious in my spirit and very bottled up in my heart. Church was like, you just go, right? You go and you do what they say, Relationship was not something that I had learned. I had heard it. Oh, you want a relationship with Jesus. You want a relationship with God. Oh, he will come in and fill you. And I just wanted to go to the movies. You know, but if you go, you're going to be in trouble. Well, goodness, what can you do? Saints can have fun and not do this, and that. Well, you took everything away that we could do, so we're just having fun looking at each other, I guess. And so time goes on, and I find myself just being a church member, just going through the motions. And not that I wasn't learning, I had good times, yes, but that overall, am I saved? Am I born again? Am I a Jesus follower? Am I really a Christian? I was not. I wasn't. And when I got opportunity to dart off and leave, I did. I blamed it in the name of college. I'm going to college. I had no business going off to school. I wasn't prepared for that in any kind of way, but I just wanted to be free of whatever I thought I was being held to, right?
Right.
And even still, I went to churches. I was always in church in college. I sang in the choir. I did things, but I still partied and hung out and,
So why
whatever.
do you say you weren't a Christian?
Because I did not believe. Like, you had to get to that point where, we say we can believe in our hearts and confess with our mouth.
And you didn't believe in your heart.
confess, but I didn't really believe
heart.
that. No. But I knew what to do. I was a youth leader. I would go to other churches and preach services and lead youth, and I was not a believer.
Wow.
And it was all in the name of, oh, that's the pastor's daughter. But if I had an issue, I couldn't go to the pastor because the pastor was my mother, right? I couldn't go to people in the church because they're going to be expecting a higher expectation of me because I was a pastor's kid. And I would talk to other preachers' kids, and they would be like, whatever. They didn't even care. They were in the same boat that I was in that particular age group. That, almost like being under a glass and everybody's watching you all the time. And if you do a typical kid behavior, like what kids do, you were the worst. It was like the worst for you.
So when do you get to a turning point? What's the turning point that turns you?
So with this comes a lot of unforgiveness, a lot of bitterness. And
you felt unforgiveness of them?
I did. I felt unforgiveness towards the whole sense of Christianity. Like, I'm just mad. Like, I don't like it. And I don't like how you would treat other people, too. Like, oh, well, they're not really Christians because they wear makeup or something crazy. You're just like, well, what? So over time, I was in my early 20s, and, I had done a lot of foolish things and ungodly things and just was sinful. It's sin. And when I said, I gotta get this right, I gotta somehow understand this. And I was at a revival meeting. It was a prayer revival that my mother's godmother was preaching. Mother Mattie Agnes Bowman. Okay. She is one of the most powerful women in the Christian community.
She live around here? Can we get her on the couch?
Right, get her on the couch. Well, she's living with Jesus now, but she had been in my life since my mother became a Christian. So the respect and the love that I have for her is just undying. Right. And she was doing a prayer revival at our church, and I went every night. And one night she talked about forgiveness. And she said, stop saying forgive and forget. That's stupid. You're like, She said, how can you forget what someone's done? And I always mimic how she says it. You didn't have amnesia. And I'm like, well, what do you do with that? And she said, you pray to God, and it does take time, but you forget the pain of what they did. That's how God wipes away sin and bitterness and hurt. That's how God says, Quit worrying about all these other people and what they think and what they do. Study me, and I will give you that forgiveness. You won't have that pain. And just the tears started streaming, and I was like, that's it. I don't want to feel what these people have put on me and taught me. Like, they're just doing what they know to do. At that moment, Diane, I felt so much compassion for people who had been trapped in that religiosity, that sense of, rules and regulations that they bound other people with. I'm like, they don't know. And I forgave. But with that forgiveness came freedom, and I stopped doing things that people wanted me to do because their rules and their that. And I, became the person looking for a pastor, because that wasn't of God. All of that, you're bad if, and you're bad if, and you're bad, that wasn't God. I had to realize that and forgive. And to this day, I am probably one of the most forgiving people that I personally know. Like, I don't hold judgment for people because I know how it felt for me. To have that love for others, to be able to give to others. And God took that, and then he ... changed my career path, changed how I viewed situations, put me in communities to be an advocate, to teach forgiveness. It's been an amazing journey, but it was sitting there. I believe I was 22 years old.
Wow.
At that prayer revival.
Wow.
Knowing that God can erase the pain.
Right.
And that I can remember, but not hurt.
Right.
This is the Jesus. This is the God that I wanted to serve.
Well, I just read something a couple weeks ago. I was on vacation, and there was a little book at my friend's house, and I didn't read the whole thing, but the one page that I read said, the difference between Christianity and a lot of the other faiths is that, we're all trying to work our way to God. I mean, even people that think they're in the Christian church are still trying to work their way to God. And I got to be good so God will love me. And when you meet him on your own and you have that real relationship and you realize that, I want to be good because he loves me and I love him and I want to do things that honor him.
Right.
It's so different. And the whole words good, bad is, not even, and he's so awesome. I mean, he just loves you right where you are. He loved you when you were rebelling. He loved you,
Yes.
and he loves you today, and he's using you at all times. And
I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that enlightenment, and that's what I encourage in other people. It's like, if you can get to this point where you can logically say, these people don't have control over me. This isn't a situation that I have to bow to, because our emotions get all in the way, and we're so hurt, and we're so, misunderstood, and we don't understand, and all of this. If we can step back and just take a quick logical assessment of what's going on and grab hold to that, I believe that the rest will come. God gives us powerful, beautiful minds. We can think.
Yep.
And if we can do that, we can work through the process of forgiveness. Many people do not come to Christ, Diane, because they don't forgive the abuser. They don't forgive the thief. They don't forgive the critic. And they hear these negative voices over and over and over and over again, and that's all they can focus on. But if we can get rid of that and understand that those people are probably hurt too, and they don't know any better, and they need Jesus, and Jesus is there for them too, get past that pain of what they did, you will get to that forgiveness.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for being
here.
Oh my gosh.
So we always like to tell people that are watching, because there are people watching, that you would be happy to do coffee or something like that anytime, right?
Oh, For
You know,
sure.
I do know Marla's schedule's really tight, but if you want to meet with Marla, we have her contact information. She's on
Yes.
Facebook, and we've tagged her, so you can message her on Facebook. You can message us here, and we'll put you in contact.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you've got questions,
I am here for people.
Amen.
That's what God made me for.
yeah, awesome.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Appreciate
All right, so we're gonna do a little Daryl Buchanan as we wrap up. We have Jesus. Thanks for watching Facebook. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yay. Love you. Thank you, sister.
Love you, love you, love you. So awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what God's going to do with that.